The problem statement starts with the minimum variance method of spectrum estimation constrains the FIR bandpass filter that is represented by capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega to have a gain of 1 at the frequency omega is equal to omega suffix I. Here the gain is represented capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega suffix I, and this is equal to 1 as per the problem statement. It continues here. Another approach is to constrain to have unit energy over a frequency band that is centered at the frequency omega is equal to omega suffix I and has a bandwidth of delta. Here the representation is 1 upon delta, the integral that is starting at omega suffix I minus delta by 2 up to omega suffix I plus delta by 2 operated over the square of mod capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega d omega is equal to 1. Next, with this constraint, the filter coefficients, those are represented small g suffix I, which is basically, here we have the transpose of the collection of the individual coefficients g suffix I of 0, g suffix I of 1, g suffix I of 2. This way g suffix I of t here. So in this representation, the problem statement gives this to be not the square but a transpose of. Now next to that, these filter coefficients, those minimize the power in the filtered process. The representation here, the expected value of the square of the mod for the output discrete time random process y suffix I as a function of n. So this is equal to the Hermitian of the filter coefficients g suffix I, the autocorrelation matrix for the input random process x of n represented capital R suffix x in multiplication to g suffix I. So this may be shown to be a solution to a generalized eigenvalue problem. Here the representation, the multiplication of the autocorrelation matrix Rx to the filter coefficients g suffix I. So this is equal to lambda as a function of omega suffix I comma delta in multiplication to t suffix I into g suffix I. Here in this problem statement, the t suffix I, here it is the matrix here. Now in this representation, t suffix I is a matrix whose elements depend upon the frequency omega suffix I and the bandwidth delta. The spectrum estimate referred to as DAC estimate is, here we have capital P cap suffix DAC as a function of e to the power j omega is equal to lambda suffix minimum as a function of the center frequency omega suffix I comma delta here, where lambda suffix minimum as a function of omega suffix I comma delta is the minimum eigenvalue of the generalized eigenvalue problem. So up to this point, the given details of the situation for the minimum variance spectrum estimation method are given. Now here start exactly the 4 parts of this problem statement. So here we have part A. In part A we have been asked to perform the minimization of the expected value of square of the mod y suffix I of n and determine the form of the matrix denoted t suffix I here. So this is our part A question. Next to that, it follows what happens to the matrix t suffix I in the limit as delta tends to 0. What does the power spectrum estimate correspond to in this particular case? So here also the representation of t should be capital T suffix I here. Next to that, in part C we have been asked to repeat the part B for delta is equal to 2 pi, and at last we are asked to find DAC estimate for white noise. So this completes our problem statement. So as we get back to the details. The problem statement is quite long here, so it will be quite difficult to get each and every details and to have the solution of this particular problem statement. So we get back to the starting of this particular problem. So in the starting, we have been mentioned that the minimum variance method of spectrum estimation constrains the FIR bandpass filter. Here it should be FIR. FIR standing for the finite impulse response bandpass filter, and this is very important in this particular problem statement. The FIR bandpass filter, and here it has been represented into the frequency domain, the function capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega, and its gain value at the center frequency is equal to 1. So this is important. So this way also we can also achieve the minimum variance method for power spectrum estimation. And as per the problem statement, another approach is to constrain. So this is what the approach we have dealt while learning the minimum variance spectrum estimation in the 19th topic of our chapter here. So here the filter to have unit energy over a frequency band, here we have represented omega is equal to omega suffix I, and it holds the bandwidth delta. Here it is the relation in the integral form, and that results into the 1 here. Now the filter coefficients are further represented here. The filter coefficients are represented as G suffix I here, and it should be a transpose as the case here. Now these filter coefficients are very important, and with the help of these filter coefficients, the power associated to the output discrete time random process that has been resulted after the filtering procedure is represented by the next mathematical equation. So here it is the equation, the expected value of square of the mod of y suffix I of n. So the autocorrelation matrix has been multiplied by the Hermitian of the filter coefficient matrix, which is a row matrix, and further the filter coefficient matrix here. Now in continuation to this, as we have gone through all this, we come to see this is nothing but the DASE estimate here. So for the minimum variance spectrum estimation, we have abbreviated the method name by MV method, MV standing for the minimum variance here. So in DASE, DA stands for the data adaptive, whereas SE stands for the spectrum estimation. So this is basically the data adaptive spectrum estimation that has been represented mathematically, and here it is depending on the lambda suffix minimum that has been already cleared, that the minimum values for the eigenvalue of the generalized eigenvalue problem here. Now we focus our attention one by one onto the part A, part B, part C and part D here. So in the part A, we have been asked to perform the minimization of the power associated in the output discrete time random process. Here it is denoted the expected value of square of the mod y suffix I as a function of n, and to determine the form of the matrix T suffix I. So let us have the solution to this particular problem. So in this particular problem, we want to have the minimization. The minimization is of, here we have represented it again, the expected value of the mod square of y suffix I of n, which is obtained by having the Hermitian of the filter coefficient matrix multiplied to the autocorrelation matrix, further multiplied to the row matrix of filter coefficients, and this is subject to the constraint as per the problem statement 1 upon delta the integral omega suffix I minus delta by 2 up to omega suffix I plus delta by 2 over the square of the mod the filter coefficient filter function here in frequency domain capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega, and this is equal to 1 as per the given. So here we can have the representation of the frequency domain gain of the filter that has been used here, capital G suffix I, as a function of e to the power j omega. So this is basically the Fourier transformation of the discrete time representation of the filter coefficient matrix here, G suffix I of n here. Hence we write it to the form summation n is equal to 0 to p. We have G suffix I of n into the exponential e to the power minus j times n into omega. So this is the Fourier transformation representation, e being the order. Now this constraint may be also written into the form where we have the left hand side 1 upon 2 pi in multiplication to the integral, where we write minus pi to plus pi for the multiplication of capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega into capital H suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega, and finally we have the complex conjugate of the capital G suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega d omega. This is equal to 1 here. Now in this representation, as per the problem statement, we are very much familiar with the gain function of the filter in frequency domain and its complex conjugate. So what is this capital H suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega? So this is basically, we have the filter function in the frequency domain opting the value 2 pi divided by delta when we have the mod of omega minus omega suffix I less than delta by 2, otherwise it holds the value 0 here. So as this is the representation into the frequency domain, the discrete time domain representation can be represented like this. So here we have in discrete time domain small h suffix I as a function of n, and it has been computed by taking 1 upon 2 pi integral minus pi to plus pi over the earlier representation from the above equation, capital H suffix I as a function of e to the power j omega e to the power jn omega d omega. So it can be also simplified by the use of the bandwidth delta. So here we have 1 upon delta integral omega suffix I minus delta by 2 up to omega suffix I plus delta by 2 e to the power jn omega d omega here. By the next step, we can also write it to the form after solving the integral, which will be 1 upon jn times omega, and after solving the integrals and applying the upper and lower limits, we get the two terms in the square bracket. The first term is e to the power jn times omega suffix I plus delta by 2 minus the second term is e to the power jn times omega suffix I minus delta by 2. Next to that, we can get it to the form 1 upon jn delta in multiplication to e to the power jn omega suffix I into twice j sine of n delta by 2, which is equal to e to the power jn omega suffix I sinc function of n times delta by 2. Here the sinc function of x in general can be a representation of sin x divided by x. So this has been made into the use to represent the sinc n delta by 2 in the previous equation here. Now here we get the representation of 1 upon 2 pi, the integral minus pi to plus pi for the multiplication of, as we have shown in the earlier case, the g suffix I e to the power j omega, h suffix I e to the power j omega, the complex conjugate of g suffix I e to the power j omega. So here the representation we have just from the previous step into the frequency domain as well as into the discrete time domain. So this is equal to the summation n is equal to 0 to p over the, here we have the summation k is equal to 0 to p for the multiplication of g suffix I of k into h suffix I of n minus k. Here it should be n minus k In multiplication to this, the discrete time representation of this term, discrete time domain representation, will be the small g suffix I conjugate as a function of n. So this we can represent as the g suffix I Hermitian multiplied to capital T suffix I into g suffix I here. So in this representation, the T suffix I is simply a Toeplitz matrix, and this Toeplitz matrix can be represented as e to the power j in the bracket k minus l omega suffix I sinc function of k minus l delta by 2. Therefore, our problem reduces from the minimum g suffix I over the multiplication of the Hermitian of the g suffix I into the autocorrelation matrix Rx into g suffix I subject to g suffix I Hermitian into the Toeplitz matrix capital T suffix I, g suffix I is equal to 1 here. Now in this particular case, with the introduction of a Lagrange multiplier, the lambda here it will be, this is equivalent to minimizing the function given by capital Q suffix R as a function of gi comma lambda is equal to gi Hermitian Rx into gi added to lambda in multiplication to the bracket where we have 1 minus gi Hermitian Ti gi here. Now to this step, if we can have differentiation with respect to the complex conjugate of small g suffix I, and if we set the result equal to 0, we get the new equation of the form. Here the differentiation will of course be a partial differentiation. Here we write del of q suffix r as a function of gi comma lambda divided by del of gi conjugate. So this is equal to Rx into gi minus lambda into capital Ti into gi. So this has been equated to the 0. Also we can represent it into the form by shifting the second term of LHS to the RHS. We get Rx gi is equal to Ti into gi. So this is nothing but the generalized eigenvalue problem. Now if we have the differentiation of the same with respect to lambda, we can reduce it to the form 1 minus g suffix I Hermitian into the Toeplitz matrix T suffix I into the g suffix I, the filter coefficient factor here. So this is equal to 0, or else if we shift the second term of the LHS to the RHS or vice versa, we can have it g suffix I Hermitian, the Toeplitz matrix T suffix I gi is equal to 1. Now here we can have a recall of the thing that we want to have minimization of the left hand side here, the left hand side that just now we have represented. So here we have g suffix I Hermitian with the T suffix I and g suffix I. So since we have this particular A, the g suffix I Hermitian into Rx into g suffix I is equal to lambda times the Hermitian of g suffix I into Toeplitz matrix T suffix I into gi is equal to lambda. Now upon doing this, the minimizing of the representation g suffix I into the autocorrelation sequence matrix Rx into gi is very equivalent to minimizing simply the lambda here. And since we know that the autocorrelation sequence matrix Rx is a non-singular matrix, the generalized eigenvalue problem may be written in the form given like this. So here we have the inverse of the autocorrelation matrix Rx multiplied to the Toeplitz matrix Ti into the filter coefficient matrix gi is equal to 1 upon lambda times g suffix I. So hence we can say that g suffix I correspond to the eigenvector of the inverse of the autocorrelation matrix Rx in multiplication to T suffix I. Here it is the representation, and it has the maximum eigenvalue and the lambda maximum if taken to be the inverse will be the estimate of the power here. So here we have taken the inverse, so 1 upon lambda, it will be holding the maximum value, the lambda eigen value here, so it will be the estimate of the power. So we had the part A question to perform the minimization of the power associated to the discrete time output random process represented by E of mod square y suffix I of n, and to determine the form of the matrix T suffix I. So both the questions have been answered up till this point here. Now next to that we have to focus our attention to part B, where it has been asked what happens to the matrix T suffix I in the limit as the delta tends to 0. What does the power spectrum estimate corresponding to this in this particular case? So this is what the question. Now let us have solution to the same. Now as we know that the bandwidth delta tends to 0, the matrix represented T sub approaches the limit represented in this particular mathematical expression. So here we write onto the left hand side limit delta tends to 0 for T suffix I. Here the suffixes outside the curly brackets we give k comma l here, this should be a comma. So this is equal to limit delta tends to 0 e to the power j times k minus l omega suffix I, the sinc function of k minus l into delta by 2, that can be simply e to the power j times k minus l into omega suffix I. So therefore we can have the representation of the matrix T suffix I as E suffix I, the vector, into the Hermitian of E suffix I, where the vector of the complex exponentials E suffix I is nothing but the representation will be the transpose of, here we represent T, not the power 2, so it holds the values 1 comma e to the power j times omega suffix I, this way up to e to the power j times n omega suffix I at this particular place here. Now the generalized eigenvalue problem, here it becomes the multiplication of the autocorrelation sequence Rx with that of the filter coefficients g suffix I to be equal to lambda in multiplication to Ti Gi. Further, in place of Ti Gi, we write in place of Ti the multiplication of Ei with its Hermitian from this equation here. So here we have lambda into E suffix I Hermitian into G suffix I. We can also express this expression in the new form, where we first of all take the inverse of the autocorrelation sequence matrix, hence Rx inverse, in multiplication to Ei e to the power I Hermitian Gi equal to 1 upon lambda times G suffix I here. Now upon having multiplication to both the sides of this equation on the left by E suffix I Hermitian, we get it to the form, the new equation here it is. Here we have the left hand side E suffix I Hermitian in multiplication to the inverse of autocorrelation matrix into E suffix I in multiplication to E suffix I Gi. So this is equal to 1 upon lambda E suffix I Hermitian G suffix I here. Now if we focus on to the multiplication of Ei Hermitian and Gi, so this is nothing but a scalar here. So this is nothing but a scalar, either you take this or you take this one here. So we can have the division on both the sides of this equation by these. So this is basically the common thing from both the sides. So we shall be left with, as here it will be 1 upon lambda, we take it onto the left hand side. So lambda simply it will be the inverse of the Ei Hermitian, the inverse of autocorrelation matrix Rx into E suffix I. So this is equivalent to the minimum variance power estimate here. So we had the question in the part B, what happens to the matrix T suffix I in the limit as delta tends to 0 here. So delta being the bandwidth here. So what does the power estimation correspond to this in this particular case? That it was the question, and we have answered this way. Now after this we have the part C, where we have been asked to repeat the procedure into the part B, taking delta is equal to 2 pi, except as in the part B delta tends to 0. So now we continue for part C, where we have delta is equal to 2 pi. Now here we have the Toeplitz matrix representation, capital T suffix I is equal to the identity matrix capital I, and the generalized eigenvalue problem becomes to the form. Here we have the autocorrelation matrix Rx in multiplication to the matrix of the filter coefficient Gi is equal to lambda multiplied to G suffix I. So in this situation, if lambda is holding the minimum eigenvalue at this particular place, lambda holding the minimum eigenvalue of the autocorrelation sequence Rx in matrix form, and because of the Pisarenko harmonic decomposition and the power estimate corresponding to the white noise power under the assumption that the process consists of a sum of complex exponential in the white noise. After this we have the last part, where we have been asked to find the DAC estimate for the white noise. DAC standing for the data adaptive spectrum estimation. So for part D we continue here. As the case is of white noise, here we write the Rx, the autocorrelation sequence, is equal to the identity matrix I multiplied to the variance sigma suffix x squared here. Thus the generalized eigenvalue equation gets to the form sigma x square G suffix I is equal to lambda times T suffix I G suffix I. So in place of Rx we have simply substituted the variance sigma x square here. We can also represent it to the form that sigma x to the power minus 2 in multiplication to the Toeplitz matrix Ti into Gi is equal to 1 upon lambda G suffix I. So therefore from this representation we can say that the power estimate at the frequency omega suffix I is equal to the maximum eigenvalue of the matrix represented here, the sigma x to the power minus 2 in multiplication to the Toeplitz matrix T suffix I. So this value however depends on to the center frequency omega suffix I and that of the bandwidth delta here.